LA, we get Jesse the Body Ventura as our
Yeah.
announcer with Elvira, the Mistress of the Dark,
I love
I
Elvira.
love Elvira.
doing the
Yeah,
color commentary.
Jinx. Yeah, also known as Cassandra Peterson,
Yes,
right? For
yes.
her
I
breaking
mean,
Which
kayfabe.
is thank you
So,
because for some reason I got that comic book uh thing crossing, so I knew her name was Cassandra, but I had always associated
yeah.
with Cassandra Kane. So I
So,
always get used to saying Cassandra Kane, even though it's
yeah.
Cassandra Peterson.
Another
Cassandra
thing that
Peterson.
makes her character great for coming into a pro wrestling thing at the time, her career had kayfabe too.
Yeah,
Everywhere she went, and her autographs were all Elvira.
yeah.
She
Wow.
was Elvira everywhere, but that was a wig. She didn't
Mm-hmm.
really look like that. She went to the
Yeah,
grocery store. She had blonde hair,
yeah. She did.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, and so she got. I loved how she was easily the best guest commentator of the night,
She was
easily.
so
yeah.
funny.
She
Yeah,
was. She was on the
Kathy Lee.
level. Go ahead.
Yeah, Kathy Lee Crosby hardly said anything, and even when
No.
she first came out, she
Yeah.
said, "This is the first time I've ever been to a live wrestling
Yeah.
match." What's
Yes.
that tell you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Elvira comes in, she's playing the heel too,
Yeah.
and she was great. She was
She
really good.
she was so
Um,
funny.
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah. So we have Hercules Hernandez versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
yep. Which
I had
you
not.
instantly know is going to be a great match, just
Yeah.
because
Ricky.
anytime Ricky can carry anybody, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I
But
had never seen Hercules before this. So I was rooting for Ricky Dragon if we're looking at I think I would have been 6 years old when this WrestleMania would have been out. Maybe if I saw it.
I
So
had only seen him wrestle jobbers up to this point because, like I
yeah.
said, it was the whole thing. Hercules Hernandez was coming down the aisle, and he
Hmm.
ended up having some bigger feuds later. He wrestled Hogan a few times.
I mean, Ricky was
Um,
Hmm.
taking a beating during the beginning of that
Oh
match.
yeah, and that's what you
oh
need
yeah,
once in a while to have the heel start off because then you start buying into the well,
oh that's
is
part of the
Ricky the
formula.
Dragon going to actually lose?
Yeah,
And you start once Ricky starts building up that comeback, you're like, oh, Ricky's gonna do it. So you start getting into that match, and then you're buying what they're
yeah,
selling,
just
and
makes
they
their
got
win
you.
all that bigger, better.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
So were you feeling the magic once Ricky started mounting his comeback against Hercules?
yeah, I was a little nervous because Hercules hit him with the clothesline and there were like elbows to the
Oh yeah, there was a
face
couple of
and
bumps that the Dragon
I
takes,
was like,
especially on
"Oof."
those clothesline where I was like, I don't know how he's getting up.
Yeah, I really didn't know if he was going to win.
Hercules wasn't a terrible wrestler. I mean,
No.
That's the first time I've heard of him
he had
actually.
chops. Like I said, I had seen him wrestle jobbers, and but when I said Ricky could carry anybody, I didn't mean that as like a diss to like Hercules Hernandez. But I'm
Hmm.
just saying, as soon as you see Ricky's the Dragon Steamboat come in, you know you're in for a good match.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, that's
USAF.
he's just that good.
Yes, Hercules was part of the United States Air Force. Thank you for that
I
tidbit,
didn't know
Raymond.
that. That's awesome.
So this match runs for about 7.5 minutes. It goes, like some back and forth, and Hercules has the upper hand. Ricky gets the upper hand
Did you have a
after
favorite?
he's wearing them down. Yeah, Ricky Steamboat because I had no idea who Hercules Hernandez was. I mean, even now, if I maybe had watched this match again,
Okay.
just because of the history of how I know Ricky Steamboat was, or ends up being, as far as not only a technical wrestler and a good workhorse
Hmm.
type of thing.
Oh, he was really good before. He had these he had a super long feud with Ric Flair in
Yeah,
WCW that was or
and that
NWA,
yeah, and
whatever it
that's
was.
when that's why they wanted to have that last match where Ric Flair was trying to get Ricky Steamboat so they can go ahead and I guess close the book together.
Yeah.
When but Ricky was like, "No, I'm gonna have my own match without you," because I don't think he was pretty much telling him like he didn't think Ric Flair should be wrestling, especially after he was recovering from his recent heart attack.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
and it showed because if you look at that match that Ric Flair's having, even though it was like also a 3-man tag, he was struggling to get through that match, and I think at one point they said he actually had blacked out and didn't know exactly where he was
Wow.
because it was so humid. I think they had that match in August.
Oof.
Maybe wrong about the date, but uh,
I
yes,
mean, for a guy like that, like Ric Flair, I mean, you have a storied career like that. I mean, how would you know when to hang it up? Like, and when it, don't you think it would pull on you? Like, it's like, okay, now I'm retired, now I'm hanging up, but now you're not the Nature Boy.
yeah,
I
I think
mean,
that's
you're
I
Richard
think
Fleer.
yeah,
you
I
know,
think that's the thing that he can't let go is he
I
doesn't
think it would
have
be mighty hard to let go.
That Richard Flair. He doesn't know what Richard Flair should be doing.
Yeah, right.
Like he's been Ric Flair for so long, living that limousine ride in
Yeah.
jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing
Wheeling
son of a
dealing
gun.
son of a gun. Woo!
Yeah, that was I agree, Raymond. That was the perfect send off, and he just couldn't let it go.
Yeah, I agree with that, Raymond, too, as well. And I could see it. But I could also see it being hard for somebody like that,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
um, to let it go. Because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's been your whole life for so long. What do you do now? You already drank all the alcohol in Charlotte, moved to the next city, and what do we do now? you know?